While many federal employees go on autopilot when it comes to their benefits elections, my guest says there are some substantial changes coming for 2023 that you might want to consider. Kevin Moss is the Director of Marketing for Checkbook Health. Kevin, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mimi.
So what are the biggest changes that employees will see to health benefits?
I think the biggest change they're going to face next year is higher premiums. So premiums are going up 8.7% on average next year. But the thing to know for all federal employees is that the increase is not the same for all plans. There's actually some plans, about 57 plans where the premium's going down, 9 plans where the premium's staying the same, many plans where the premium is going above less than the average, and in some cases, premiums going well above that average. In some cases, all the way up to 50% in certain health plans. So if you haven't thought about switching plans, hopefully these high premiums will give you the motivation to maybe go and look to see if there's some better plan values out there for you.
What about the actual benefits themselves? Are there any substantial changes there?
There are some changes. We're seeing less changes overall in the benefits next year. One of the areas of attention that OPM gave in the spring to FEHB carriers was they wanted to see plans do a better job with infertility coverage. And that's an area that's very expensive for those procedures. And only a few FEHB plans actually added new fertility benefits next year. And in fact, there's only one PPO plan that added it and only 2 or 3 other HMO plans around the country that added fertility benefits. But it is one area that can change every year. So even if you think that you don't want to change your health plan, you should still see, are there any benefit changes that might impact you next year, such as a higher doctor copay or a higher charge for a hospital admission.
Inflation is still very high. Is that what's causing these premiums to go up? What's the impact of inflation going to have on federal benefits?
Well, when OPM released their information about the 2023 FEHB open season, a lot of these increases are related to COVID. So OPM actually, I think in their press release, said up to $1 billion of charges were related to the response to COVID. So I think COVID plays a big part. And then, yeah, just the general inflation that's out there in the marketplace. That's what has caused the highest premium increase in the last 10 years for employees in 2023.
Let's talk about dental and vision plans. Any big changes there?
One big change, all standalone Fed VIP plans, orthodontic coverage. There's no longer any 12-month waiting period, so you no longer have to wait for orthodontic coverage. So that's one nice thing. And the story with premiums on those plans, they didn't go up hardly at all, less than 1%. And so there's pretty much the same price as employees were paying last year for those plans.
Explain how flexible spending accounts work and what benefits they provide for federal civilian employees.
Well, sadly, only 20% of all federal employees have a flexible spending account. I say 100% should. Every active federal employee should have one. The FSAs are restricted to just active federal employees, and annuitants, retirees, they can't have a flexible spending account. How they work, you set aside a certain amount of your money every paycheck to go into this flexible spending account. Payroll taxes aren't charged for that money. So you save about 30% on all your healthcare expenses. Most people, I think, have some predictable healthcare expenses, whether that be doctor copays, prescription drug copays, maybe even some other medical expenses they know they can predict. And one other thing that some people might not know is that your over-the-counter items, allergy relief medications, pain relief medications, those are now back on the table for FSA-eligible healthcare expenses. So everyone has some predictable healthcare expenses. This is an easy, no-brainer way for federal employees to save money.
But if you don't use all the money that you've set aside by the end of the year, you lose it. So there is a downside.
There is a downside, Mimi. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, you can only roll over up to $610. This is up $40 from last year. And a family could set aside an extra $200 up to $3,000. So here's one no-risk way if you've never had a flexible spending account. Just take the max roller amount, $610. You will have some out-of-pocket healthcare expenses in some way, shape, or form. You will lose nothing because you'll be able to roll over the entire amount, even if you had that year where you didn't use much. So there's no risk in joining this.
Well, there's also a health savings account. Is that very different from an FSA?
Yes, it is very different because you get an HSA with a high deductible health plan. And high deductible health plans are a health plan type that for many federal employees, this will be the least costly health plan choice for them. The plan funds a portion of the premium into the health savings account. It could be anywhere from about $1,000 for self-only enrollment to maybe $2,000 for self and family enrollment. You're able to use that for any out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. And the nice thing about this, there is no use or lose. You can roll the entire amount. You also are able to invest these funds. It hasn't been a great year for investments, but in a lot of years, you will see some investment return that will grow tax-free into these health savings accounts. And a very interesting thing, you can use it for non-medical distributions. You will pay a tax penalty if you do that before 65, but if you have this health savings account, after you turn 65, you can actually make a non-medical distribution and not pay any penalty.
Real quick, what's the one thing you tell federal employees to do during open season?
Okay, the plan that you have in 2022 is different. Your plan in 2023 will be different than the plan you have in 2022. You have to check, it's changed. Only 9 plans will the premium be the same. Most likely your premium has gone up. Take a look and see if there's some plans that offer you better value. And if you are an active federal employee that doesn't have an FSA, sign up for the FSA. Why not save 30%? We're all spending more money these days in a high inflationary market. Take those easy savings that are on the table.
Kevin, thanks so much for coming in. Happy open season.
Happy open season to all who celebrate. Thanks, Mimi.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future Government Matters interviews.